What up, jerks? Today I'm about to learn y'all some different things about baits that you can use in the surf. And here we are, check out this platter day perch. On this platter we have rubber bands, we have jack smelt of different sizes, we have a bowl of sand, we have baby oil. The baby oil is just a joke, I just wanted to see if you guys would click on it for baby oil. We have a thing of salt that we're going to use. We have a big knife just to cut the squid. We have J hooks and we have circle hooks. I don't use J hooks. We're going to get rid of those too. I only use circle hooks because it almost guarantees a proper hook set in the side of the mouth, and I like to release almost everything I catch. We have sand crabs, swivel clips, little bags, anchovy, 2 squids, 1 Sputnik sinker, and that is all for the platter. Tip number 1 was to use circle hooks. Tip number 2 was not to use baby oil. I'm just kidding, that doesn't count. Tip number 2 is to use Sputnik sinkers. These are Sputnik sinkers. They have a little eye at the end, and they have breakaway needles that stick out, that stick into the sand and keep this thing from moving, and it locks in so you can either slide baits or keep your rig that you have out there sitting still. Tip number 3, always use swivel clips. These little swivel clips attach to these very easily at the end of your line, and then if you need to use less or more weight, you can switch out with no problem. Tip number 4, and probably the reason that I brought you guys to this video, is preserve your bait. If you have bait, or if you're out on the piers and you guys are catching a bunch of bait, get some bags, put it in there, and preserve it for the winter, because they don't bite in the winter sometimes and you want to save it for yourself. That is the most important tip. Save your bait. For tip number 5, salt your bait. Don't be afraid to just get in there with some salt, man. If you want to preserve the bait for a long time, like maybe a couple months or longer, then put salt on it and it'll help preserve it in the freezer. I have officially lost count of what tip we're on, so we're just going to keep going. Trust me, it's going to be way more than 10. I like to use little bags. I put the 2 pieces of salted squid in there and I pushed all the air out, and I'm going to freeze this. The reason I like to use little bags is because it's really easy to thaw. Usually you grab your bait right before you go fishing, so it thaws out on your way there. You can definitely take whole squids to throw out for leopard sharks and whatnot, but I also always cut squid because there's a lot of fish in the surf that'll eat smaller pieces of bait. Bat rays will eat this, guitar fish, anything in the surf that's small. Put them in a little bag and freeze them and you'll be good to go. You can use whatever you want to put them in. A 55-gallon drum, I don't care. Just get them to the beach. This right here is the head of the squid that I use when I cut strips. A lot of people don't use squid heads, but I don't like to waste them. So the best thing you can do is stick more bait at the bottom of the ocean. Then if you think about it, right up here where you have your dropper loop, like right here, you're going to have a bait hanging. And if something can't eat that, it's going to get mad and see a piece hanging right here, and it's going to come and smash it, and you're going to be bit. And this is also going to put more smell in the water. It's just going to help more than it's going to not help. Make sure you salt your fish too. Do it just like the squid, same thing. Cover it with some salt, stick it in a bag. These fish right here are jack smelt. They work wonderful in the surf and off of piers. You can catch halibut with these. Halibut love eating jack smelt. It's one of the main species that you'll catch with these, but I've seen sand bass and everything else caught with them. Use it on a Carolina rig, a dropper loop, retrieve the dropper loop, whatever you want to. If you bait and weight in the surf and you're using live or dead baits like these and they're not catching anything, try cutting a fillet off. Cut a little fillet of the fish and throw it on your hook, and then throw that out and see if something smaller might eat that, because there might not be big enough to eat the whole bait. This is how I like to hook the fillets, and this is also how I like to hook the squid. Over here you'll see a tiny little baby hook for these sand crabs. My rule for sand crabs is to use a hook that is as big or smaller, so that way whatever's looking for them only sees the minimum amount of hook as possible. For anyone wondering, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The head is up here and the tail is back here. I like to put the hook right through that butt, right at the end, just like you see there. I rarely ever lose a sand crab like this. I swear to God, I'm either pulling in a fish or I'm pulling my sand crab back in. Sometimes the body will fall off, but that shell never comes off. Now check this out, man. We're playing in the sand. I like to stick sand in the bag and then put down the sand crabs. And there you go. You got a nice little bag of perch crack. You could take these and slang these to them perch at the beach. Another tip, if your whole bait isn't working, just send the heads out. That's it. Throw the head out and see if something will bite that. I like to hook it through the nose up here and then through the bottom of the mouth, just so the hook is exposed. Throw that out. The golden rule is to save, preserve, and freeze your bait, so that way you have bait all winter long and you don't have to worry about going without. Even in the summer you'll have bait. I do fishing all up and down the coast around here, so we got nickel bags, dime bags. When I go in the surf, I like to use a spinning reel with about 20-pound braid on it, with about a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader, 2 dropper loops, and a Sputnik at the end with a swivel clip. Subscribe to the channel, go to the link in the description and cop some perch merch if you want to look cool and blend in at the Jerk Squad meetups. Subscribe and like. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support, and we'll see what we catch next. Alright guys, peace.